How's it going, gang? Welcome back to the Social Club where everybody has a voice. On today's episode, I'm Serge, and you guessed it, I'm coming back with more Chiefs content because I know it's exactly what you guys have been asking for. Now, come Sunday, we got a hell of a rematch going down in New Orleans. My Chiefs take on the big stage with Philadelphia's Eagles, and in today's episode, I'll be covering exactly what it's going to take for my guys to get the job done. And no, it's not going to come down to how many penalties and flags we can get to go our way. It'll come down to who wants it most, who just might choke, and who gets out coached on the big day to make that Lombardi trophy theirs. Now, before we get into the good stuff, guys, you know the deal. We got a few housekeeping items to take care of first. Go ahead and jam that subscribe button down below. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you already know about that Discord where you can stay in the mix about everything up and coming with the Social Club. We got a hell of a lot on the horizon that I'm sure you guys won't want to miss out on. To the matchups, Patrick Mahomes versus Jalen Hurts. We've seen this matchup before in the Super Bowl, and although we did come away with the win, we can't act like Jalen didn't come to play. Ultimately, we scraped by with another comeback win like many others in the past. Jalen passing for 304 yards and a touchdown, rushing for 70 and 3 touchdowns. There's no way around it. He came to win last time we were in Arizona. Now having Saquon as a backfield buddy, I just know those guys are going to be coming out swinging. Now for Patrick, I'd like to think the concept is still simple. Find and rely on Travis to find those pockets in the defense if we need it. We can't afford another performance out of him like last week, so if he gets stale, pull in Noah Gray to get some receptions. We've also got to lean on D-Hop, Hollywood, and Xavier, all to show up in their biggest strengths. D-Hop's experience and composure to convert on first downs. We need Xavier to take the roof off the place and find that separation downfield. In Hollywood, we need a little bit of everything out of you. I don't need you getting heavily targeted, but when we're coming your way, use that speed to find that separation. Now, with that said, there's no secret that our run game is not in the same neighborhood as Philly's, but we don't really need it to be. I think if we get Checo some touches on early downs, maybe for some short to mid gains, we can open up that opportunity on third and short, and more importantly in the red zone for Kareem to punch it through. We don't need either one of them to be nearly as explosive as Saquon is, but if we can get them to pull Philly's secondary down, I know that pass game could be effective. Now that leads me into what might be the biggest matchup on Super Bowl Sunday, Spags versus Saquon. Now the Chiefs have proven they can slow down the run this year, although that's declined tremendously in the later half of the season. In order to slow down Philly's run game, I anticipate Spags will be bringing an extra body in the box to help fill the gaps. Now I could see him running this out of man-free zone coverages, although personally I'd like to see more cover 3 shells than anything, considering we still got AJ and Devontae to worry about on the outside. Now, I got big faith in our secondary. Between Jalen, Trent, Brian, and Justin, I do believe they can hold back the big plays from unfolding downfield. Now, with all that said, our guys on the edge will have to play the game of their lives to keep the run game between the tackles. If we can do that, not only do I think we can take a pep out of Saquon's explosive nature, but we can also keep Jalen from breaking away on his runs, as he likes to break out through the gaps instead of the edge when he's feeling some pressure. Now, if we can execute on those pieces to the level I know we can, I think we get home at least 2 to 3 times on Sunday. That brings me to the last matchup I want to bring up regarding Super Bowl Sunday. I mentioned this earlier when I talked about it could come down to who gets out-coached. Big Red versus Nick Sirianni. Now, it's no secret. Big Red's got the tools. He's got the experience. He obviously has the intelligence to pull off the big wins when we need him the most. But with that said, as much as I personally dislike Sirianni, I've got to pay respect to the fact that his presence does bring a sense of discomfort to the game. After enduring what was a very tough season last year, going 11-6 and losing to Tampa in the first round, an embarrassing loss, he's done a pretty good job turning the program around this year. Now, of course, that goes hand in hand with being able to hand it off to what I consider a modern-day cyborg, but then to take this season, after literally being booed out of the stadium following a disgusting loss to Cleveland, and put the Eagles in the position he's in now, is something we really shouldn't be dismissing. His 48-20 win-loss record, it's the 5th highest in NFL history. Let's also consider that he's taken the Eagles to the playoffs in all 4 years of being a head coach. Now, of course, when it comes down to it, I'm putting my money on Big Red anytime and every time. He's got the knowledge of the game, and he's built the chemistry within the team to where I'm confident in saying that he's going to go out Sunday to make history, not only for himself, but for the organization too. When it comes down to it, winning this game just gets back to the basics. Run the ball early, keep the pass game alive in short, mid, and long-term gains especially. I don't want him to shy away from dumping the ball off deep when the opportunity presents itself. And of course, we got to throw a trick play or two in there to keep everybody on their toes. As long as we can stick to the plan, don't shy away from what we already know as far as ball goes, I'm confident saying that Indy will pull off another W to bring the Chiefs home a third Super Bowl in a row. Even if that means scraping by 3, and probably just coming down to the last 5 minutes of the game. Now, I'm getting more and more excited as we close in on the big day, but that doesn't mean I'm not any less nervous. There is a lot on the line this weekend, and I'm eager to learn. How do you guys see the big game playing out? Could Jalen and Saquon bring home the first Super Bowl rings of their career? Or will Pat and the Chiefs make history, not only to be the first team to make it to the big stage 3 times in a row, but to take the Lombardi home with them as well? I guess we'll all just have to wait and see. But in the meantime, guys, thanks for tapping into another episode of the Social Club. This has been your host, Serge, and I'm eager to hear from everybody down in the comments below. Make sure you stay tuned because we got a special surprise for you coming up this weekend that you won't want to miss. So don't forget, tap in all those socials so you can see what we got to brew for you coming up this weekend. With all that said, guys, I'm getting out of here, but before I go, Chief Nation, let me hear it. Chief Pete?